All right, it is 6:31 on July 17th, 2025. This is the council work session. And in attendance tonight, we have Councilperson Martin, we have Councilperson Grant, Mayor Southard, Councilperson Koss, Councilperson Pinto, myself, Council President Cameron, the village attorney, Mr. Shep, and we have our officer, our chief officer.
What? You're
Mr.
alpha?
Bell. Officer Goat, Chief Goat?
Officer Chief.
Alpha?
I don't know.
It's been a long day, hasn't it?
What's happening over here?
Alrighty, let's see, tonight we have finance, safety, and legislation, right?
Yes.
Is that right?
And Jeff took up your guys' meeting last week, so I told Jeff that I thought tonight was probably a little overkill for all of that. He did send out his reports, I believe, today. And he also met with a couple of the finance people this past week.
Yeah, and
so-
Tiffany, that's all I'm gonna mention is that we had a 7-2 meeting with him. It was really good, about an hour and a half. Everything is out on the website, thanks to Barb, and transcript and all that. Really good discussion, won't get into that again, but as far as the report, it looks like, just in general, the high level stuff is, fees are, for the swimming pool membership is right at what he budgeted. And then we're right at 50% in regards to admissions, just walk-in admissions, so just wanted to mention that. The only other thing, it looks like his income, he's budgeted pretty well for income, real estate income, or property tax income for me. So everything looks good, no questions on his report this one.
Alright.
Works for me.
Next would be safety, but Councilperson Passion is not going to be with us tonight. Chief, you want to chime in on safety from your perspective?
So, the only thing I would add about safety is you probably noticed maybe that the speed signs, the new ones, are back up and running. There was an issue with the batteries that came with the initial set. They have been replaced on warranty, so they're now back up and running. It looks like they're actually taking a charge, so the problem with the others will not take a charge. Fingers crossed, those will be up and running for a while now. We're only in place for at least another couple of weeks, since they've been up a few weeks before, but and then we'll decide. Some other locations in the village might be a little more beneficial.
Have you been able to pull that data and look at anything? I know you said it's pretty raw.
Yeah, the data that comes off of the new speed signs is raw, so you gotta kind of sit through it and just kind of look and see. And there's some categories or columns in there that have some information that I'm not sure what it means. So we're trying to kind of understand the data that's coming off those and see if it's given us what we needed to make plans, working in that area. The stealth stat was used on Cleveland Avenue at the beginning of June. We ran it for 10 days, and just off the top of my head, I think it was like 150,000 vehicles went through Cleveland Avenue. This is north and southbound. And in those 10 days, and then we ran it during the 10 days before and after the 4th. We ran it through the 5th of July. And just to do a comparison, the second time it only ran for 9 hours and 14 minutes instead of the whole 10 days. But there was nothing to indicate that there was a major increase in traffic. The speeds were still within the 85th percentiles in that 35 to 38 range. So that was good. But there is a light there. Plus we had a constricted lane because of the construction on the water line. So we'll do this again next year prior to the and forth again, just to see the comparison. The only thing interesting to note about those two studies was, in the early June study, we had a high-speed northbound of 124 miles per hour. In the July 4th study, we had 146. Probably motorcycle.
Do they give you a time stamp on that?
I could find it. I'd have to go and look in the raw data for it, but it just, the report I run just kind of gives me the speed by 10 mile per hour blocks, or 5 mile per hour blocks. They get like the 31 to 35, the 35 to 39, the 40 to 44. So, and then that's all graphed. You've seen the report.
Yeah.
So you're familiar with that. And that also could be radio interference too. Sometimes we get, when we're running radar, you'll see 126 jump up on your radar and you're like, there's nothing there. Yeah, it's just some airplane flying over.
Too low.
What that's coming from, but it somehow just pops up. So it could also be that. I did find it kind of interesting that the 85th percentile speed was 38 miles per hour. So it means 85% of the cars that are going through there are 38 and under. Which, if you ever try to pull out on Cleveland Avenue from the village, then you don't believe it. It just seems like they're flying over there. But turns out that's not quite the case.
Well, I think different times of the day, people are like that too. I think when you try to go through there at like 4, 5, 6 o'clock, there's a lot more traffic.
Congestion.
So there's a lot more congestion to where you wouldn't be able to speed, but maybe other times, like at 9, 10 o'clock is probably where you're seeing a few of the speeders that are just trying to hurry up and get home or whatever. So it makes sense. It does. Because there's days that you're like, there's no way. But it is.
Can I ask a question on the traffic stops? It looks like we're about 40% up this year. Is there a specific trend or a reason or any thoughts to a 40% jump?
People complaining about speed.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it seems like the calls and the cases are down, which makes me,
Well, when you're not taking reports, you have more allocated time to work on speed complaints and stuff like that.
Now, you can't be doing both.
You can, but
Barely.
you have so many minutes in an hour, so.
Yep.
Since we're talking safety, any concerns or anything with phantom fireworks this year?
It was a non-issue.
I know that there was one evening where there was assault there or something.
It was drunk girls trying to steal fireworks. So, and I mean, that could happen in any retail and stuff.
Sure. Okay.
Nothing really. The only fireworks related thing was what she was trying to steal.
Do you anticipate more traffic next year, most likely, with them starting late on that?
You know, they did start late. We noticed an uptick in the radio commercials. Seemed like every 5 minutes it was coming 5 down. But I think perhaps there might be more, but we don't know what we're going to do.
That's fair.
Anyone else have any?
It does look like the traffic, would you agree, the traffic's gonna be a lot less, obviously, off peak, right? I mean, it's not gonna be,
There's one car in the parking lot.
yeah, I drove past it and
Yeah. But they told us that. I mean, we
Yeah,
knew that.
That's their thing, you know, they do all their sales at 3 or 4 specific times a year. And between all of the shops they have open, that's where they get all their business, so.
Now, did
Maybe.
they end up doing a tent? I know we talked about that, we went off peak. I was just
They had a radio station that was there that had a tent, but they didn't do, I did not witness a tent with,
like a Best Buy tent. where you
No.
can-
it doesn't mean they won't next year, but
Yeah,
not this year.
So it seems like so the whole purpose of that tent, from my understanding, was that it would be a place for you call ahead pickup.
Yeah.
It seemed like they had kept their stuff stored inside, secure until the people showed up and said, hey, I'm here to pick up my order. And then they brought it out of the store to them rather than having it stored outside. So I don't think there's going to be an issue. I don't think that's I don't think that's something they're gonna entertain.
Did the closing of that one exit part of the old parking lot, did that help with the traffic, or you just still kind of, we're just still looking at it, I assume, but you know how they're, now the exit's on the outside?
So, yeah, it was a, you know, when they first opened, the parking lot was still a mess, because they were still trying to get some paving done, and trying to get the striping in, and that, so half that parking lot wasn't even open, so they were following cars through around the back to the front, and, but I think that once, and now you can come in from Cleveland Avenue side, so it doesn't seem to have much impact on Jordan Road.
Yeah.
But during the time, they just flowed in and did their business and left, and it seemed like it was pretty uneventful.
I think the 3rd and the 4th are gonna be your days that you're gonna see an extreme amount of people there. The other days, there were people there, but it was just from what I saw, and obviously I passed it 300 times ago, it was just a constant flow of people.
Did they tell you when your peak time, their peak times would be? I'm just curious.
In the initial conversations, you know, they did tell us basically Memorial Day through the 4th of July is when they do their sales, but the reason that we went with the 15 days or 14 days is we kind of thought that, you know, the weekend or two before it would probably be busier. Busier, yes, but busier than what? The 2 cars that's there. So, I mean, in my mind, I'm gonna say this, in my mind, I feel like hopefully we can get them to do like a additional police presence like the weekend before the 4th of July, as well as like the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, whatever. So I don't know how Chief feels about that. We have not had that conversation, but from what I saw, I feel like there still probably should be some to help direct traffic, especially if it is busier, because we don't know what we don't know. But yes, having 3 and 4 officers down there, I think maybe, I don't want to call her out, but I think Tammy ended up having to get out of her car one time, and that was because the light went out. And she was actually in the street directing traffic. So it was nice having them there for that reason, but other than that, there wasn't, there really, you know, we were fortunate. It was the best of a, that it could have been.
I think it was a good soft opening. I think we'll know more. New Year's is a sales time for them, so we'll see what happens. But it's not 4th of July.
Right.
4th is their big sales period. I think that once they established it and did their advertising, they're taking a gamble. You know, we don't know what the market is in this area up here. You know, who's buying them. You know, we're basing our proactive response on what happens at the other locations in Columbus. So based on what they're seeing, here's what we anticipate, but we didn't see it. That could be because of the advertising or the opening, we don't know. So next year, we'll again, hey, how was your last 4th? What did the other stores experience? And we'll base our response on it.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody have anything else for Chief? For safety? Dun dun dun. I have something.
For Chief?
No.
What's up?
Do we know when we're getting that light? Nobody knows.
I was actually going to say, maybe we can see if Eric has any updates on that whatsoever. I know he's been in communication with them for upcoming meetings and things like that, but everybody's pretty much on vacation right now with them because they probably had the 2 months of nonstop. Maybe you have something?
Slightly related, but not to the light. We talked today, he confirmed with Columbus that they do not need to tear up Jordan to cap the water line.
Oh,
So
good.
Okay.
that's good.
Perfect. That's awesome.
Yes.
So yes, we'll follow up with that. We can ask Eric as soon as he comes in if he's heard anything, but I'm gonna say it sounds like everybody from Phantom's pretty much on vacation in the last week or whatever, so, which I guess I kind of get. Not related to safety, but related to streets, but streets isn't on there, so I'm gonna use safety. Okay. Jason and I talked a little bit about other possible ways that we can kind of warn people of upcoming projects, because we all know that people don't read the newsletter, they don't read the Facebook page. I think she actually gave the Facebook page to somebody earlier today. I heard you telling somebody something like where to go to find things. But anyways,
Are we doing singing telegrams?
yes, I'm gonna start that. So, one of the things that we had talked about is maybe just like little things that we could stick in the road, like upcoming project, you know, just kind of like the MPCA signs or something like that. I went a little bigger, a lot bigger. I think we were too late for that particular project anyways, but you know, you drive down Westerville Road and you see these everywhere you turn. For 4th Friday, for 4th of July, road's gonna be closed for the parade, or upcoming road project streets, something like that. So we had somebody come out, this is who we got our radar signs from,
Okay.
the ones that are up. So this is just something that we looked into, this is not something we have budgeted, this is one particular one. Looks like they range anywhere from about 8,000 to 18,000.
To keep, not to rent.
Correct, they are about $700 a week. Like, for example, if we wanted to have, that project down there is gonna be 6 weeks, so if we wanted to keep it for 6 weeks, obviously, we would just buy one. But we thought there's probably quite a few events that we could use it for, whether it be first responders night, or again, just road closures, or I was not in a huge favor of the nice sign that we have outside because I'm a cheap person.
I love it.
And it's one of the best things that we've done. So in my mind, that was a great decision to do that because it really does flash different things. This can be moved. Again, there's one that we can throw in the back of a truck, which is cheap. There's different ones you can do. I'm just bringing it to your guys' attention because we can do like little street signs and move them. My thought with those was, it's a great idea. How long are they gonna last? Are people gonna kick them over in the summer? If it's a winter project, are they gonna get lost in the snow? So this was just something that I was like, why can't we just look into this? We did call Blendon to see if we could borrow theirs. That really, I don't wanna say it wasn't like an option, but it sounds like they might even potentially, do you think they rent theirs with the common? Or maybe they have a couple, they get them from Westerville. I don't know. So we did ask about borrowing one, and he basically directed us where to get one.
Can we call Westerville and ask? Here's my issue. Okay, this is the question every time I go shopping. My husband asks me, where are you gonna put it?
This would go in the maintenance garage once it's done. So this might be something we budget in January. So again, this isn't something I think we should just go write a check for tomorrow.
Yeah, but like, do we have room for it?
For sure,
Okay.
for sure. But I just kind of want to pass it.
It's not much longer than this table.
No.
I kinda like it.
Oh yeah. So there's more pricings, there's more this and that. So I'm not gonna sit here and talk about it for 30 minutes. You and I mentioned it. They came out just because they happen to be in Reynoldsburg, I think is what he said today.
Do you want it or no?
Could we rent it out?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, at $700 a week, we would recoup our money and, yeah.
What,
We have trouble enough renting this room out.
what's the
I
warranty
mean,
on it?
I just.
1 year for something, 2 years for the trailer. 1 year for the sign, 2 years for the trailer.
I am having PTSD from that speed sign that we have sitting in the back corner of the pool.
That was old though. How old was that speed sign that's sitting in the back of the pool?
I didn't know there was one sitting
No, the
there.
old one, the old speed trailer, the
Oh,
old,
speed trailer. So the radar unit went out on that, radar unit.
how old do you think it was before it went out? 1986?
No, it wasn't that old.
What is that? That's not old.
But it was definitely 10 years old by the time we got it.
And I asked that, I said, I understand you don't have a crystal ball. How long do you think it would, how long on average do they last? He said 10. You can get replacement parts, you can get different things like that. And again, this just is,
It's an option.
it's just a thought and it's something that,
I know it's been brought up before, so.
Brian's talked to a different company that their products have a 5-year warranty, so he's gonna try and see if we can get a demo scheduled.
yeah. So again, this is just the first one, go for it.
Can we get a traveling speed bump with it?
You and your speed bump.
Just one.
Traveling
Yeah,
speed bump.
we can get those for sure.
Okay, we're gonna put it in front of your house.
The only thing I
Yeah.
worry about, so I typically deal with heavy equipment, things mounted to trailers in the insurance world, and they get stolen. So it's good to, I mean, cause all they have to do is back up the truck, hitch it up, and drive away.
The hitch comes off.
The hinge comes off. We'll put out.
Maybe they'll bring their own.
Hinge comes off, wheels come off if necessary.
Yeah, okay.
And again, there's pros, there's cons,
Yeah.
it's something that we can
It's
talk
just,
about for the
it's
next
just
2
something to
months.
think about,
Yep.
because I immediately think it's either gonna catch fire or, and those don't
Speed
matter.
trailer had a car that went through both tires and walked on the other side.
I like that.
Still has it.
It still has it.
I'm pretty unconvinced by GPS. I think all it does is tell you that it was stolen and it got cut off and thrown into the woods over
We're gonna put
here.
an air tag on it.
That might work.
They have new air tags that are like totally hidden, and they don't look like air tags.
It's called stalkers.
I was gonna air tag my dog.
Okay, sorry.
Do the text work well with the communication? Because I mean, I love it.
There's 256 people signed up for it.
So two
So
things.
for that 256 people, sure.
Yeah, I love it.
There's 219 signed up for meetings.
Wow.
It boils back down to the same thing. We've talked about it as long as I've been on council. How do you, the only way you can get people to walk in the door is to make them mad. And as soon as you make them mad, they can come in.
Oh, look who we see.
So,
When you start the
But-
meeting, so-
but the issue becomes, and this is something that I'm gonna say from living in different neighborhoods like you guys all have. That's not a bad thing. Like, I know that everybody wants everybody to communicate and listen and pay attention and da-da-da-da-da. But when they're not complaining and they're not screaming and they're not doing all of that, that means you're not necessarily doing a bad job.
So the sip and dip signs work well for me. Again, it's just me. I see it up and see it not on the side.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, you know, so that's always really good.
Yeah.
You know, I think you just run into an issue, you just, is it?
And I think it is. I think it's one of those that when they use the sip and dip signs, you're familiar with it, you see it, you do all of that. I think the hard part is once you get inside like election season and everybody starts putting signs, you're just oblivious to them. Like you just get to the point that, no, I'm not throwing stones, but
Actually, though, that's a good idea. What if we just have a sign that says road project and then.
And we can.
And you can just, like, one of those signs. and
With the
you can have-
QR code
Yeah.
for
and
more
then-
details.
you're
Right.
driving, you're not supposed to be on your
But
phone.
listen, I don't want it, but I want a reusable sign, just like sip and dip. So every time it's like, okay, road project, and then everybody knows, okay, I gotta Google whatever this road project is. It doesn't have to be, here are all the details, and you have to read with like, I don't know, a magnifying glass. It just says, road project, see website.
And I think that's the problem with the sip and dip signs. They're too small for something. It basically boils down to this. I promise you, and I'm saying this right now, there will be people next week when this project starts and have no idea what's going on, nobody ever said a word.
But like, that's the, here's
Well,
what you have to deal with. That is the price of being in government. I feel like that's always
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
happen, and you can't
Can't.
get 100%
No.
engagement.
Jesse, with road projects, do the construction companies have signs like that they can put up?
Oh, yeah, do they have one of those?
They probably
They
do.
probably do, yeah.
But my point with these things, or even just like she's saying, we can go $200 or something like that, and just continually move them or whatever. Is having it out 2 weeks ago. This is coming, so people can pay attention. So
She
it's-
was out already, just.
Correct.
Even for people that cut through our neighborhood.
There you go. You're
They're not
100%
looking at a newsletter, they're not looking at a website, they're gonna have no clue until they run up on it and they're like, I can't go straight here.
And that's when people get angry, and then they start to speed, and then they do those
Those
things.
people aren't gonna say anything to us, but still.
I agree.
You can't.
I
expect
think,
everybody to-
I mean, I'm not necessarily opposed to that.
Mhm.
It's a big ticket item. I think yard signs are a less expensive alternative that we could probably use in the interim until we're ready for that purpose.
Well, the only thing with that is I would say we would need to put it in more of our right of way and not in somebody's yard, because I would hate for somebody to, I don't wanna say purposely damage them, but while they're cutting their grass or while they're doing those types of things, that's something, things will happen to them.
The all the yard signs too, right, if you put them on every street, it does actually provide more coverage probably too, right?
Well, when we have first responders, like, we put them in quite a few areas.
There's nothing, we could also purchase a aluminum sign that says road project coming soon.
Yeah.
Something like that, that we
Yeah.
post onto a.
And the QR code can just be the updates.
Recently with the street
crack, fill in this
Yeah.
last phase.
Yep,
Something just small that they can pick up
right.
when you're doing weeds, when you're doing cracks, when it's.
Well, I mean, even today, I don't know if it was you, were you over there?
I was.
I mean,
When they had the road blocked?
Almost all day.
Today, there's a bunch of trees by Haskell's.
I think that that's also a reasonable alternative
Mm-hmm.
to put up some aluminum signs that say the same thing, right? Rather than yard signs. We'd actually probably get a lot more life out of them.
Yeah,
I would rather, versus yard signs, I would rather a
Yeah.
sign of this size, like road project coming soon or whatever. And again, the difference is you can literally put right lane closed, with the flashing things, you can put more information and it will continue to go around. The sign is just gonna say it's coming.
Yeah, no, I understand.
But it's the price you pay.
Yeah. Right.
And I think, like he's saying,
I mean,
I'm not interested in spending $16,000. I'll say that, but if we can find one reasonable, they sell them used and I don't have any interest in that.
we could cancel Ohio Wildlands contract.
Oh, Goose Patrol?
no.
Okay, but here's what I'm gonna say about that. There were so many geese over here earlier today.
Can we get a swan
That,
in there? Yeah, because don't they put like fake swans in ponds and it's raising geese on?
I know they use owls.
Canadian geese on small ice.
Are you good?
Oh yeah, that was it.
Because, I know that we really don't have much of legislation, but I think that,
Sorry.
There is a
I think
topic.
that people wanted to discuss some things about it, so
I
I
do
want
too.
to make sure
Yes.
that we have a
Go for
chance
it.
to discuss it in this meeting rather as opposed to our next one.
Yeah.
So, okay, legislation time?
Yeah, I mean, we only have one piece of legislation tonight that is a second reading of something. And I know that, the fee schedule, yes.
Yeah, so I'd like to discuss the fee schedule on a couple of items. Starting with the tent canopy, apparently the tents are not in good condition. I just think we should just remove that entirely.
Yeah.
And going back to the community room rental, I think we should put that at $300 due to the damages done to it. It's just an easy, simple way, but as well as doing that at $300, starting January 1st of 2026. This way, if anybody who has rented the room gets the offered previous price of $150. Anyone have any thoughts on that?
So I think I'd like to double check with our attorney here. If we were to change this, does that mean that going forward, if we already have people that have signed up for rental, do we have to adjust their fees?
No, I would recommend leaving them at what they had
Right.
at the time they signed up.
I agree.
So there's no harm for us changing it at any time, because they've already signed an agreement, they're locked into that. It is a contract
Yep.
that we've already signed.
Yeah, this,
So there's no reason, if we
even
wanna
do it.
change it, and I'm all for it,
Yeah.
because I think,
Yeah, you guys decide that. I just want to remind you that Barb is going to be the one to have to filter the calls that she's been telling people for the last 3 months, 4 months that are asking questions, taking pictures, coming in. And I'm just, you guys make that decision. I'm just letting you know, she's been telling people this entire year, it's $150, and she's got 3 people on the fence right now that she's working with.
then my recommendation is to call them up and say, hey, in 60 days, or however, 30 less, 14, in 44 days, the price is gonna go up to $300. If you wanna lock in this price, here it is. And that's my recommendation.
And we, again, your guys' choice on that.
Yeah, and Barb, are you okay, are you okay with doing that? It's a lot of work.
It's only a few people.
My concern is, are we just flat out raising the fee to $300 and I feel like there needs to be, and I'm happy to take a look at it, but I wouldn't want to be the only person who does, to take a look at the agreement itself. Because Mayor has a copy of the agreement in her stuff. Number 14 says it's a $150 rental / cleaning fee. So if we intend to, I don't know if there's intent to try to refund any of that,
No.
how that process would work, any of that stuff, I feel like is opening a big old can of worms.
Okay.
I feel like
Yeah.
it needs to say rental cleaning fee, $300. I think we need to be very blunt about it. This is unfortunately the reason that we've had to do it. I mean, the alternative is we don't have parties in here. I think I think 5 years from now, this room is gonna be trashed. So
Yeah.
I don't think we have anticipated the amount of people renting this room and not taking care of it.
We also talked about the fact that there probably would be enough income from doing that every spring or every whenever, we could just have this room painted.
Yeah. Okay, but so here's my thing is, why does it need to say cleaning fee? Just say rental fee of 300,
Period.
clean fee is confusing, deposit for damages is another blah, blah, blah. You're done. You don't need
Remove
to say, I feel like adding cleaning fee is the confusing part of it.
Maybe?
So if we just took that word out.
Take it out.
Rental
Just
fee.
rental fee.
Just rental fee.
Yeah.
And
Rental, it
then,
includes cleaning.
and damage deposit of whatever that is refundable.
I mean,
And that's my concern, how's that gonna work?
I'll be honest, I would do
Can you do a
rental
whole-
fee and
Yeah,
a
upfront.
cleaning fee as two separate charges. And one
Yeah.
of them
Is refundable.
could be refundable.
But you
There's
start
not-
doing refundable and then you start going, okay, did they do it Friday? Did they do it Saturday? Who did it? You
But
can't.
honestly, I think what Councilperson Grant sent to us with the language that's in it is very clear. Like, here is how you avoid these charges. You take photos, there's a
Yeah.
timestamp on it, you have emailed them.
Like,
This
they're
is
responsible
before
for
this
getting
even
them
starts.
I understand, but if you're standing in that corner and there's a stain, where was the stain at this past time?
It's right there.
So it's over there, like, you're not gonna see that in a picture, because I'm gonna be blunt. How many pictures do you want them to send to us, 700? If you're taking a picture from that corner, you would have never seen a stain right there. If you're
It's
taking
not-
one from this corner, that corner, this
It's not
corner.
about taking pictures of the room, it's taking pictures of the issue. So if
But
you
they're not
come
gonna
in-
say they had an issue, I'm not gonna take a picture of the stain and send it to you, come on.
If I walk into a room and there's a stain in the carpet.
You're saying
I'm
the
gonna
next
take-
people, great, what do we do for the?
If I'm renting this space.
Right.
And I walk in the room and I see a stain in the carpet.
You're gonna take a
It's
picture.
like when you're renting a car, right?
That doesn't
You're
solve,
walking around
that
looking
doesn't
for
solve our
scratches.
problem as to which person did it before.
It's the person that came
No,
before.
But it's not, the person that's running it is protecting themselves.
Right. So
Okay.
it's not the person that's rented it if that stain's there at the beginning of.
Okay, I get that, but that doesn't fix the problem. We still have a stain on the carpet and we don't
But it wasn't
know.
that person.
Okay, that person's off the hook, but what about the person that rented it Thursday, Friday and Saturday?
Well, that person gets
Well,
fined.
that's where we're checking up after it. There's gotta be someone that comes in afterwards and says, hey, yep, this looks great, here's your money back.
And who's doing that?
Who's
Like,
doing
if
that?
they're-
Okay,
So we come in Monday and we have 4 parties.
Who's
So,
doing that?
so between parties is the people that are in between parties. If you walked into this space and there was a stain there and you didn't verify that it's there, tough luck.
No, but you're coming in here, you got your hands full.
It is the way it is, you rent a VRBO, whatever they are, that's the way it is. You can't, if you don't send them that stuff,
Shh, guys.
if you don't send them that stuff, you're stuck. You have no recourse.
Always.
So are you guys in meeting? What-
Yes.
So what council meeting started?
No, this is our work session.
Oh, okay, well, it's time for the council. meeting. No, it's not.
No, we started after the work session.
When we adjourn this one, we're going to the next one.
No, Jason, I kind of agree with you because when I go into my Airbnb, I'm going to look for damages and
So you're not
and focus on making sure that I am not charged for any damage.
Or an
Tony,
apartment.
We don't have to start on time, we just can't start early, and this meeting's not over. Sorry. That's okay, just wanna make sure. Okay,
Oh, I thought of a creative thing, and Chief, don't,
Police officers are not coming in here to inspect it every night,
it was just a thought, it was
No.
just a floating.
because then it puts the responsibility on them.
here's the other option, is we hire a company that comes in and cleans their space, and it's an automated thing. You signed up, this cost us $50 or whatever to clean space. We say, hey, company XYZ, we need you on this date at this time.
If you spot
Come in and
damage.
do the work. It's just like, again, like a rental property that you're
Correct.
renting for the weekend. There's a whole team of people that do that for a living, where they come in and clean a space. And as long as we're not losing money on it, then
And I think this is like what we talked about. I thought this is reasonable when we first started doing this because I didn't anticipate that somebody is going to leave a mess and then we don't have a backup plan. So we have to do this because this building is for everybody. And so like $150 is not covering
I agree with that.
So I don't know if we have another choice and I think the best way to protect this is to have the people that come here, pay for a cleaning service, so
Yeah.
everybody's more respectful.
And the cleaning service could document it as well if they found
Correct.
stains or a difference.
Right.
And if it's
Right.
the same person, they have familiarity.
So, but we need to charge for that, so you guys.
Oh, I don't
So-
disagree with the 300 at all, I just think we're trying to reinvent the wheel, I think we change it to 300 and we leave it alone. And it's non-refundable, and it is what it is, the new rental fee is 300.
I mean,
How
again, I think the rental fee is 300.
I-
Does that include a cleaning fee or not?
So how
I
about
think
this?
however you wanna word it is worded that way, I feel like 300, we have our cleaning company that we could pay them an extra $100 to clean the room or, you know, whatever, if you.
Okay, hold on. I just wanna say a couple things on the,
It's so
on
much
this
more
whole,
We already pay them.
I wanna make this as simple as possible and leave, our staff out as much as possible, so with that said, hypothetically, if it was $300 to rent the room, and then we did pay a cleaning company $100, then that means that we should change this to 400 and be done. And then that, didn't say like, if there was something left over, like a $50 whatever left over from all that, of someone renting it, that goes in the fund to paint the room, to recarpet it every year or something like that, like it's a smart out way of, is that no, or?
I mean, I don't disagree with you, but I think a deposit also keeps people honest. And it doesn't have to be like, oh, you left one mark on the wall, and so we're gonna like keep your deposit. No, but I feel like it's just that almost psychological thing, that if I have a deposit, you're more likely to behave yourself.
Yeah, that's
Further
true,
that point.
but I just wanna say one thing about the deposit part of it, is that there has to be one of our staff members that looks through and then refunds that back. You know what I'm saying? So that way, like, say if we just had a $400 flat fee, then say 200 of that was renting the room, 100 of that went to, this is just, you know, hypothetically, like, I don't know the actual exact numbers, the cleaning crew would probably be $100 or more realistically to come out here. And then maybe $50 to $100 of that went to like a kitty of a bank or whatever that could paint the room, and I don't even know if that's enough, if you think
Okay,
about
but
it.
here's my thing with all this, is like, the deposit is really just to keep you honest. Most of the time, you're gonna get it back unless you really trash the place.
So it's like
And
a,
that, it's just a
Automatic?
insurance policy, and you put your credit card on hold, and automatically it's released if everything is fine. It doesn't have to be that complicated. You only keep
But I
that
don't know that-
deposit if you're like, oh my god, what happened, the windows are like.
I think there's an
busted out.
administrative challenge
There's an
of,
It is,
administrative.
I agree.
you swipe the card and then when you come back to refund the deposit, you need the card again.
and that also
That's
leaves,
not necessarily true.
I don't think you need the cards anymore. We don't need them in our
Okay, well, we
stores.
have probably
Barb, can we
1976
take a-
on half of our stuff back here, so just remember
I
that.
mean,
we,
it's all Barb.
can we do
Barb
that?
has to be part of
let's
the
ask Barb. Barb?
Out of the times that I've made arrangements with people to rent this room, I have swiped a card maybe 3 times.
Right.
People give me their card numbers over the phone. Now,
But what do you have to do to refund? Like if
I
we,
can refund it through Square, it's not a huge deal, it's just a process of going in and stating why you're refunding, and then it refunds it back to their original form of payment.
Right.
Right.
So
So it's way
two
easier to
payments.
do that than it is to add an additional charge.
Right, so what
so
if,
then it's just a matter of balancing it every single month with all of, because you gotta remember, there are times in which we have 3 per weekend. And you have 1 person in accounting.
I mean, here's the thought. There's a world where you put it on paper that if you are renting this on the weekend and there's an incident, you will be asked to justify why you weren't the cause of this problem. So they don't have to send 700 pictures, but maybe they take 700 pictures. And when there's a grape juice in the floor over there, we say, well, was it there on Friday?
show me the picture.
I mean, you're right. If you don't have a security deposit, it's gonna be analyzed.
Right.
Well, so there's a risk component to it too, right?
Right.
So they could go into the bathroom, plug up the toilet, and there could be $1,000 worth of damage.
yeah.
So if you don't have a deposit, you have no recourse.
Right.
So that's, the administrative thing, I'm very sensitive to that, but on the flip side, I wanna protect the TV.
It's
Right.
insurance.
Yeah.
So, there is a component that I don't know if it was ever discussed.
So what is
Yeah.
that? Can I ask you something? What would that be, like 300?
Well, at least you got something.
No,
I
but-
mean, the point is, $300, you have to, it's a risk thing. So $300, yeah, that TV's $1,000, I get it. The 1,000, but a carpet stain for the cleaning supply, cleaning could maybe only 150. So you gotta run that out. And, so you do run a risk, I get it, but you're also running a risk of renting this facility in general. So, I mean, so I just think that and maybe we don't discuss it fully today, good for, decide, obviously, but.
So in the second part to this, it says, my credit card will be kept on file in the event that a special cleaning/repair is required.
Yeah.
Small group sponsored by the village resident may be permitted to use the community room at little to no charge at the discretion of the mayor.
Right, so here's my only issue with that, is like, I would rather say, where you give me $300, and if you're on your best behavior, you get it back, instead of like, oh, if you're bad, I'm going to take more money, and it's an arbitrary amount. Like psychologically to me, is like, oh, if they already have my $300 and I'm working to get it back, you're more likely to keep it nice,
So you're saying
right?
it'll be 300.
Up front, I feel like it's a
So
psychological
600 up
thing.
front, and then, okay,
Right.
I got you,
And
okay.
then, yeah,
And we can
Jason?
reword it so that, let's say they break that TV and it's $800. Like, the $300 doesn't give you the right to break stuff.
Right,
You're
right.
gonna charge for whatever
Right.
the replacement value
As well
is of
as-
that stuff.
but yeah.
And we'll just use that $300 towards that.
But also, you want that person to have an extra $300, because if they do break that and they don't have that $300 at all, then they probably shouldn't be renting this, because
And I think, and that's another thing, is like, I think by raising it to $300, they keep, because $150 is so cheap nowadays, and it keeps like the party animals, I don't know, just. I don't
it
know.
keeps people honest.
Yeah.
And that's what you're asking, it's
So,
not gonna be perfect.
A grand total of $600 to rent the building, and then you get 300 back if you didn't destroy it. Is
So,
that,
yeah, but
is
I
that,
think for
and we
Barb's,
reword the wording on it, like saying,
so no, I actually think that for Barb's sake, it should be 2 different charges, because then she could just reverse one and it would be a lot easier, right? Is that,
It's not, if someone makes a $500 payment, I can refund $5, I can refund
Okay, so
$50,
just math.
it doesn't matter.
I think it's just the optics of refunds, that it's better to have the line item say cleaning fund or cleaning charge on it or deposit and then refunding it, rather than saying, hey, here's your total. Now, if you can put in, and you can, I know, I already know the answer, you can put in rental as one item in there and the deposit as the other and swipe it as one and then refund a single item. But I think it needs to be set up so that it's very specific, so that if we ever get audited or someone's looking at those books, we
Yeah.
can say, hey, this is because we refunded their cleaning fee or their.
but also when you're signing it and it's 2 line items, I feel like you're more likely to pay attention to it.
Is this something that we want to just continue to work on in the next work session and iron out more details instead of dragging this on?
So here are our options. So option 1, we do not have a work session between now and our next, the 3rd reading of this. So we have the option of tabling this, having more discussion. Now, here's what I would say. I'd say read it tonight. So we have our second reading. We can table it at the next meeting, have it at our work session, bring it back to the floor the week after that, right? Or we can just let it go through and just make a motion to change it in the process.
I think
So if
that's
we read it
best.
tonight, someone can say, hey, I'd like to make a motion to change this to this.
yeah,
We would do the whole voting thing, and then well, would we do that tonight, Jesse, or would we do it on the 3rd reading? Or does it matter? To amend charges?
You can do either.
Okay, but it is a motion to do it.
Yeah, man.
Okay. So we can do it either tonight, or we can wait and do
I
it.
think just do it right now, we're all agreed on, I'm in agreement
I
with
don't think
you.
we're in agreement.
We're not?
No, I don't think so.
If you
I am
are,
300.
if you don't want to discuss this anymore,
I do.
but if you're looking to discuss this more, then the option is to table it after we read it tonight. or
So, can
table it
I-
at the next meeting.
Can I ask this?
Yes.
Is everybody in agreement with the 300 rental charge and a $300 deposit?
Yes,
Did I word it the correct way?
yes.
I'm only saying that for Barb, because she's gonna be the one to read,
And
to
we-
write this.
Although technically we're not voting.
No, we're not voting, I'm just, no.
Yes.
I'm asking, is that the way you want it
Tony,
worded
you're
in the
the same
legislation next week?
300 as.
300, 300.
And
Well,
300 as.
we'll
Yeah.
make-
Motion
someone
to
will
amend
make a
at
motion
300.
So you don't want her to fix it, you guys would rather just do it on the web?
Then you guys you could move to amend it tonight.
Okay.
On 2nd reading, and then on the 3rd reading, you'll
So
have.
somebody just be clear as to
Uh-huh.
What you want.
rental versus deposit versus whatever.
Yes.
And the reason why.
Do we need
And the reason.
are we amending this 25-step thing? as well, or are we just amending
Well,
the
some of
dollar
the
figure?
wording-
Um, Just because we discussed it, as far as the tent rental goes,
Technically, that
Is
is
there-
what we're amending.
even if we don't have
Just
a
will
tent,
reflect to
is
this.
there any reason to remove it? Like, will we be getting a tent in the future? Or
Well,
do we
there-
just leave it in there? Because otherwise, if we decide to buy a tent, a month
Well,
from now,
I think that,
Tent
here's,
deal.
that's a $700, $800 tent, right? How much is that tent? It's a $700, $800 tent?
Well, they're saying the tents are gone, you can't rent them, but
Yeah.
it stays on the thing.
Yes, just remove it, that's what, yeah, remove that, sorry, I misunderstood.
But we shouldn't rent it out. And so
I think tents are too easy to break,
Yes.
that live in London.
Ours are destroyed.
Those were over,
Business, we don't need
$700, yeah,
Yeah.
and they're destroyed right now.
Yeah.
So even if we did buy new ones for the village, we need to keep them for the
These are our
village and
tents.
not
now
rent
we
them,
don't
yeah.
have tents.
Right.
Yeah, cause now we don't have any.
And what did we make? The
Nothing.
$150, like,
Right.
really?
So that, the tent deposit is $1,000.
if they're destroyed.
Yeah, we're not.
Just, I think it's removable, this is, that's,
That's fine.
okay.
So let's just get rid of the line item because I personally don't anticipate, correct me if you guys feel differently, that we will continue to rent out the tents even if we get anyone.
I don't think we should.
I don't wanna say no on
I
that.
think the problem is now
Take it out.
we're stuck.
Yeah, get it out. This isn't right.
So, this has nothing to do with the meeting.
Here's the-
Are they sufficient enough for us to be able to use as of right now, or do we need to get new ones?
Before we raise the price, I need to ask a legal question here. So didn't we pass something that says we wouldn't raise
Yes.
our fees more than a certain percentage?
Yes.
And how does that apply to this?
When did we pass that?
And can we remove
I
it?
just remember David, I just remember David had some, had
That's right.
some.
You'll have to rescind your other ordinance.
No.
Silly. You did, you're right.
It was just personal.
It was, I think he tied it to
With
CIP.
time,
didn't he?
yeah.
It was something with formula, so, thanks, David.
Does it stay on?
3% rental, you love me.
Okay, so for those of you who were on council when that got passed, we did actually pass some legislation that says we can only increase our fees by a certain percentage.
Cost of living.
So, we cannot increase that without rescinding that other legislation,
What,
Okay,
right?
can we resend that?
okay, go ahead. I'll,
So keep in mind that as part of this process, before we do the final vote on this, we are gonna have to rescind that legislation.
Okay.
And do it as an emergency, I guess.
yeah, if you want to move quickly on this. yeah.
Yes. My question is, before I say a motion to amend, resolution 2025-17-17,
I don't think you can do that tonight.
you can't even do that tonight?
You can, yes, you can.
Okay, because it's not being voted on, you can't, and then we will
Okay.
have, if you do that.
And then next
the
week-
legislation before you will have the numbers that you want,
Yes.
and then we'll simultaneously repeal the prior legislation, and
Okay,
then vote on what you want. I just need
Alright,
to find the ordinance that did that, which I'm sending an email to myself right now to do.
because, yeah, got it.
Chief,
Is there something in the fee schedule right now that needed to be passed?
Cruiser is the only other thing.
The redaction,
Oh, the redaction, which I don't know that we put a number in that yet.
yeah.
We didn't.
Oh, we did. The redaction and the police, if for some reason somebody calls you tomorrow and wants special duty, they are on the old rate still.
Okay.
Those are the two main things
I
that,
didn't know why we were doing a new fee schedule, so I just want to make sure that we didn't miss something.
for the police department.
By tabling it and pushing it out and then something.
I don't wanna-
needed to be passed.
I mean, the
We don't wanna table
redaction,
Can I still this?
the redaction thing could come up, or again, if the guys get special duty, it's
Yes.
that.
Redaction, special duty, and community room, and the tents. Just that.
What do you want?
For the paper so I can sit motion.
Is that, are we good then?
Yes, yes, sir.
We're good on
Other business before we adjourn?
Yes.
Legislation, real quick. Jesse, do we want to talk about that now, or do we want to talk about the tree now? Is that a discussion for legislation now, or?
Well, we don't have any legislation drafted.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe new business.
Okay, perfect.
We can talk
Sounds
about the numbers on what we talked about, the tree trimming, just figuring out, pick the number that you guys want, and we'll appeal it for.
Okay.
So that's the new business, and then
We're
you
gonna
can
be
tell us what to do, we'll do it.
repealing.
what, wait, what?
There's a small conflict in the code.
Oh, yeah, with the 10 foot and the 7 foot.
Yeah, so tell us which one you want, we'll draft it for next time, and let's just do it for business.
I might take up unicycling on a giant motorcycle, so I think it should be 10 feet.
Okay.
Standing up.
And
Can we talk about the pool loungers? Do you know when we need to order those to get those for next year? I have the price, I'm assuming you've seen it.
yes,
I
we
think
talked
so.
about it.
We talked about it.
And so what's the outcome?
Yeah,
Jeff said he was gonna put it in the budget for next year.
Okay,
and
but don't we have to order them this year?
In the past, they have given us this year's rates. If we send them a letter saying that on January 1st or 2nd, so if we're closing
I
first,
agree.
on January 2nd, we will issue the PO.
Okay,
And they've honored that price in the past. Now, I was not part of the conversation on these prices, so I don't know if they will do that this year.
I'll check with
But,
him, because he
um,
seemed pretty willing to work with us.
They've done that for us in the past, as long as they know that the order's coming.
okay.
So, and I'd recommend the larger quantity, just because we just have so many people right now that are,
The 65, 85?
yeah.
Okay.
no.
I saw some pool loungers at Restore for $10 a top.
You were already upset that the ones we have don't have the same color strap. and
I
now
know,
you're
well,
like,
I was like, well, whatever, for $10, it's too late, you know.
I'm not sure that they were tall enough, but
They were $10 chairs.
I'm sure they'll look great in the next time.
I will bring them with me to the pool.
Was there anything else?
Yeah, agree.
Yes, but I can't find it.
I know Mr. Benedetti is anxious for citizen comments, so.
But we didn't even say anything.
I know, I'm
Our
trying to make sure we got this.
Yeah.
I'm anxious to hear what he has to say.
Do you mean
The
that?
arborist.
I mean, I know what you're gonna say, so I just don't.
All right, I'll do my best to throw something in there.
Okay.
I'm gonna say something positive.
You have to start, you have to start with
That would be
something.
unexpected.
Say it. Positive
Yeah,
and
you have to
positive.
say something nice first.
All right.
I will.
All right.
First.
I'm
Anything
good.
else?
No, everything else I'll do
Let's
in the
adjourn
meeting.
this one. Anyone need a bathroom break?
I'm trying to-
Okay, let's do that real quick.